Friends, welcome to the Hypocrite Show, where I said I wasn't going to be doing more builds, and we are starting another build. So this Ducati Monster trellis frame looking thing is a FARR Twin T frame, size medium. I'm not going to bore you with all the numbers, the details, the geometry and all that stuff. I'll just link to it below over at farrandwidebikes.com because they did send this to me as a promotional build so that you will go check it out. So if you want to know more, go check it out there. Now, when you go on the FARR website and check out the marketing copy about this thing, it explicitly states this is not a trail bike. It's built in a way with reach that isn't so long that you couldn't, put a set of drop bars on it. The thought is you could build this as a drop bar gravel bike, a really capable, strong one, or build it up as a bit more of a trail bike. And I today, with the parts that I have, will be doing about 40% of the latter. All the parts required to actually finish this thing aren't really here yet, but I do have enough stuff here to put it together and sort of ride today. You'll see what I mean. Okay, if you've made it this far into this video, this is the part where I give an overview on where the build sits currently. I feel I have not spoken nearly enough in this video, so I'm going to rectify that now. So, as it sits, this is a size medium FARR Twin T frame. You already knew that. I currently have it set up 650B, which is not the way it will live. There's a set of 29-inch wheels on the way. But in that 650B setup, I'm using the blown up SR Suntour Aeon 35 that came off of Fun Norton and came onto this. It's working really bad because it's broken. So what did I expect? But I think it does look cool, and it did allow me to ride it sooner rather than later with this 650B wheel setup. So, you know, I gotta appreciate that. I have the 50mm length FARR headspace stem on this right now. It's just kind of a cool looking stem. It basically mimics the classic bull moose bar of the past, but allows you to run a 31/8 bar in it. Obviously that's cool. The bar is nothing special. It's just an old flat cross-country Specialized bar that came off some Specialized at one point in time that I had. Seat post comes from the prototype Norton. This will be swapped out for a PNW dropper post, but up here is the best saddle that exists, the Fabric Scoop. I wish I had it on every single one of my bikes. I'd be a very happy man that way, but yeah, well, I'm glad it's on this one. Really awesome part of this frame, which allows for even more messing about, sliding dropouts. So I was able to do a single speed setup, didn't have to worry about getting a shifter, derailleur, special chain, cassette, all that. I just had a single speed cog on this rear wheel from the Poseidon Redwood. And yeah, I threw in an adapter. This is boost spacing. Matched it up with this Race Face Effect crankset with a 32 tooth chainring. Boom, single speed setup like that. The sliding dropouts is the single biggest thing that allowed me to go play with this before any other part arrived. The ability to add chain tension by just pulling a rear wheel back is unparalleled. Now, obviously there's a pretty substantial piece of the pie missing here, no brakes, which is sort of the reason why I took this where I took it and not to a trail. We've tried riding trails brakeless before. It's not that fun. It's not that awesome. Brakes are good. Now, I believe the brakes are going to show up with the wheels, so we'll be able to do like a finishing build video. Believe it or not, I'm going to give TRP another chance. There's so many people every time I complain about them that are like, no, TRP is great. It's possible that just maybe the OEM ones that I had were just, I don't know, either old, not good. They weren't working for some reason. So I'm willing to give them another try. And that's what we're going to put on this, is a set of TRP Slate T4s. And yeah, I'll be able to maybe see if they'll redeem themselves for the way they perform for me. So that's where this thing stands right now. We're probably gonna go play with it again before any of the other parts show up, just because it's hard to not when you have a new bike around. I am interested to know what you think of the look of it, because this front triangle looks more like my motorbike with the gas tank taken off than it does obviously most bicycle frames. It is a pretty radical design for sure. I'll be honest, when I first saw it, I kind of didn't love it. But the more that I walk into the garage and see it from basically this angle, the more I'm like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I expect the Twin T's looks to be relatively polarizing in the comments. So go down there and fight with each other, would you? We're gonna experiment and do a bunch of stuff with this build. This is just the beginning. I'd like to take a moment to thank Far and Wide Bikes, located here in Canada. They're the distributor for Ride FARR. They went out of their way to source every part that I would need to get this thing into working order. The cranks, the wheels, the brakes. So huge thank you to Far and Wide Bikes. Okay, I'm gonna go.